100 FM The Pike, Worcester's rock station, AC/DC. It's 8:35, and in the studio with us, the cops are here, Adam.
Yes, I feel very protected. Both are...
I flushed everything, and then I forgot it was legal. Just kidding. Sorry, I don't want to put you guys on the spot. We're here to talk about something very specific. It's Chris Grilli. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
And Justin
Bennis.
Yeah. Okay. Justin Bennis, Chris Grilli. You guys are Worcester police officers, but you're also involved in a group called AMP, which helps kids get involved in music. And what I was shocked to learn is the Worcester Police Department is the only police department in the country that has a program like this. Is that true?
Yeah, that's kind of one of my favorite taglines to say. And again, feel free to prove me wrong, but to our knowledge, we're the only ones doing what we're doing. We've looked it up, and it looks like we are the only ones doing what we're doing.
That's great.
Yeah.
That surprises me. It seems like there's a lot of programs like this. And it surprises me that other police departments don't get involved, because there's a lot of community outreach programs that police do, and it's just music seems like a natural thing for me. Maybe just because that's my thing. I love music, but
Yeah.
How did you guys get involved in this?
Yeah, so I could probably start with that. In 2018, I worked for the gang unit, and I found out that I was the only one that used Microsoft Excel, and they're like, "Hey, you're the grants guy now." And so I started working with the state and doing some of the grant work with the Safe Streets Youth Initiative, and then there was something called the Shannon Grant. It's a community safety initiative. The Worcester Police Department kind of leads the league in the state, going years and years back with police-funded programming. So that's just interacting the police department with the community. And so we had several in the gang unit. We did a lot of, we had gang camp. It was a summer camp. We did basketball leagues. We do boxing leagues. And we still do a lot of that stuff. But what concerned me was when I started talking to the reps at the state, they said, you guys are doing a great thing, but it's kind of a lot of the same stuff. And it's a lot of the same stuff we see. If you want to continue to, see the funding that you do, we'd like to see something a little innovative. And that's when we started talking about maybe going outside the box from sports. And I thought, I remember listening to AF in my room and doing, music was my thing. And I was into music and art. And I'm like, well, we're not reaching that kid, and how could we do something like that? So I had a cousin in California that does something very similar, but it's on the civilian and mental health side. We got talking and thought, why wouldn't we do this? So I developed the Arts and Music Police Partnership and call it AMP. And I wrote up a little blurb to the lieutenant and our captain, and I said, "What do you think?" And they said, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea." And it kind of sat. And then next thing you know, about a month later, "Hey, by the way, that grant's approved. That was good grant writing." I'm like, "No, that was a paragraph summary, And they're like, "Well, run with it." So we started running with it, and I worked with Eric Laverne, who's a licensed therapist and also a legitimized musician who travels the world doing music and producing. We got going, and before you know it, we had a lot of kids, and I didn't have a lot of help. And I was talking to Chris, who joined up probably only 6 months after we started.
About 6 months after it started.
And we really started to develop a pretty cool program. And so we bounced around for a little bit. We were in the Denholm building for a while, and now that's getting reorganized, we ended up on Cedar Street, and we're connected with U Inc. and the Seven Hills program.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, is this one-on-one with an officer and a musician, or is it group sessions? And do the kids have to have their own instruments, or do you provide them?
Yeah, so no, we have a complete studio set up. So if a kid comes in, we try to get an idea of what it is they want to do. So we can, we're cops, we're not teachers, so I say I can assist them in learning.
Right.
But we do guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, vocals, songwriting. We also have, I'll call it an embarrassment of riches of art supplies that we got from CC Lowell.
Oh, yeah, great place.
So we have everything from clay to spray paint to calligraphy sets. We have kids that want to make jewelry. So we can really customize
Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. That turned into a thing.
Nerd factor very high here.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But that's who we are. We were nerds growing up. We were musicians and nerds and played in bands. And when the opportunity for this program came up, when I first started getting involved with the program, I just said to him, "Hey man, don't tell anybody I'm doing this. Don't pay me. This is just the coolest thing I've ever heard of. I just want to help kids." And it just grew from there. But yeah, no, to answer your question, Adam, a kid doesn't need to have anything. We're completely free. So if a kid just wants to learn, They can come in. I can put a guitar in their hands that day. I can give them a lesson that day, one-on-one. As they start to get a little bit better, that's for me the most rewarding thing of the program.
Sure.
Prior to the pandemic, we played so many live shows. So we would get kids to start getting a band together. It also helps kids develop leadership because you have a kid that comes in not knowing anything. Now they know how to play a couple chords. Now they're starting to write songs. Now they're getting together with other kids. Now they're creating a set list. And it's like, all right, well, we're going to go play at the Festival of Lights at the Worcester Common. We're going to be your road crew. And then we're going to set up a set list. And then you look at a kid's face the first time they play a live show in front of like 1,000 people at the Worcester Common. And it's just the most rewarding thing ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So how can kids get involved? Like, where can they go somewhere online to get involved?
Yeah, so it's not a cheap plug to try to get more followers on social media, but it's at AMP Worcester, AMPP Worcester on Instagram. Same thing on Facebook, AMP Worcester on Facebook. If you follow, share the page, or if you send us a DM, it goes right to my phone. It goes right to Justin's phone. We follow the Worcester Public School schedule. So if they close for a snow day, we're not open. Or if they're on February break or spring break, we're not open. But generally Monday through Friday, 3 to 6. You know, the nature of police work, sometimes we get there a couple minutes late, but that's rare.
Don't worry. I watch The Wire.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're aware. Yeah, it's just
I know
like
what
that.
it's all about.
Isn't that called musician time?
That's right. It is. Yeah. You got to learn how to be late.
Right.
And real musicians have their own clock.
Lesson
right?
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we didn't right away mention is what separates us from other police programs that do music is, you know, in some of the major cities, an incident might happen and they'll come into a neighborhood and work with them with music for expression. But we're the only police department that we got a studio. We stay here. Your kid doesn't come in once and just meet us and it's over. We've known kids for years that come through our program, and it's more of a mentorship program. And like we talk about with the youth empowerment and leadership, we've snuck in some pretty cool ideas for them where they're learning how to start speaking for themselves and learn some responsibility and realize that this doesn't have to be a hobby for you. I mean, you guys are more well aware than most that you can be involved in the music business or the art business and you can make your living doing it. Or it can be a hobby, but we try to show them that it can be both. And so we've done some like summer programs for them where they've gotten a job at, like, I know Worcester Wares was great with us.
Oh, yeah.
And
Great place.
had a kid come in, learn how to make T-shirts, learn how to use the register, talk to customers. And
also goes, like you said, with the art supplies and everything, this just encompasses just basically everything.
That we've been really, really fortunate that the community in Worcester has kind of rallied around us. And this is something that we've been doing. We've been doing it for 5 years now, kind of like before it was cool type thing. So it's kind of like I take pride in the fact that the community in Worcester, we have, if I were to sit here and give thank yous to everyone that supported us, like we'd take all day. But the community's really rallied around us. And so we have so many people that are willing to help. And it's awesome for our kids to see when they come in that there's just this huge network of supportive people around the community that are either willing to put a drum set, in a kid's house, or a guitar, or a live show, or even a job.
Yeah.
Are there no eligibility requirements except you have to live in the city of Worcester and be a young person who wants to learn music?
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
That's great.
We generally cater for high school age kids. Sometimes 12 to 18, kind of around that area. If they live in Worcester, or if they get some type of services in Worcester, like I know that there's a lot of clinicians that are out here that have been super awesome with us. So it's not necessarily a requirement that they have to live in Worcester. If they get services in Worcester, something brings them in here, we can absolutely accommodate them.
Fantastic.
That's great. Give the social media stuff again, so if people are interested, they can get in touch with you.
It's Instagram and Facebook, at AMP Worcester, AMPP Worcester on Instagram, and then AMP Worcester on Facebook. And then we're at 20 Cedar Street in our basement suite. Ewink and Seven Hills was super gracious enough to kind of custom build us the studio.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, before you guys go, it's Justin Benne and Chris Grilli from the Worcester Police Department, the AMP program. You guys obviously are also musicians. Chris, what's your thing?
So I'm good at several instruments. I'm a master of none, but I play guitar. Guitar is probably my primary. Guitar, bass, drums. Those are my strengths. Yeah.
Okay. And Justin?
Guitar, and then I do a lot of the songwriting stuff with the kids, and
Right.
I usually run up with the art stuff too.
Nice. Okay, so what do you guys listen to?
Ooh.
Give me like your top 2 bands.
Would it be sucking up if I said Rush?
Not at all.
Yes.
I would be disappointed if you didn't say Rush.
No, I honestly I listen to, but you know I grew up listening to you guys on the radio when I was a kid, so that was it shaped a lot of my formative years.
You don't
but
know how old that makes me feel.
When I was a kid, he says.
I'm like I love old
The
school
top rock
punk.
20,
I love anything
right?
from
Oh, wow, yeah.
I love
When I
everything
was
from
a
like the
kid.
Ramones to Led Zeppelin, BB King, like
Right.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Justin?
That's got to be the same for me. All the same bands. That's generally how we started getting together. Anyway, it was just realizing like, wow, we have pretty much the same exact music taste. We like what we're doing with the program. So,
Are you guys
yeah.
in any bands now, or were you in any bands that we may have heard of or anything like that?
No, I mean
No.
it's high school was a long time ago for me. So that was I went off and joined the military at 21 and wound up picking all this stuff back
Nice.
later on in life, but no bands right now.
Nice.
no, I got kicked out of the high school band room, so that was it for me.
That's
So.
because they didn't want to rock.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, that's great, you guys. This is an excellent thing, and it's great for kids to learn an instrument. I didn't realize you went outside of music and you did other arts and the business side and stuff like that. That's all very valuable. If you want to become a musician, unfortunately, there is a business aspect to it. It's not just about learning the instrument, making music, and that you got to learn that stuff too. So thanks for what you guys are doing.
And thank you for your military service.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
And
Thank you.
watching out for us here in Worcester, we appreciate that too. So we'll post all that information on our social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook on how you can touch if you want to get involved or have a kid that wants to learn an instrument with the AMP organization through the Worcester Police Department. Appreciate you guys coming in, man.
Thanks for having
Thank you
us.
very much. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you very much. You got to let us know when there's another gig with some of your students and
Oh,
stuff.
for sure.
Definitely.
So we
Absolutely.
get some people out there. Awesome. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Thanks.